Okay. Um, where is?
Shut up.
Hey,
Hello.
hello. Alright, I'm about to send this shit out here in a
Lord,
second.
I'm about to bust.
Ho ho ho. Alright, put this here. What the hell? Why is this shortcuts not showing? Why are you lying to me?
Because your mom?
Oh, can it just not be?
No. Thanks for asking, though.
Oh, okay. You're welcome, dude. I got you. You're supposed to say oops.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how to respond to that.
I know.
I don't know.
I know. Let me grab a blanket, because it's kind of cold in my apartment.
Have you tried telling it to just stop being a bitch and just heat up a bit?
Tried that last week, and it got, colder out of spite, I think.
I respect that.
I didn't.
Alright. Okay. Welcome everyone to the podcast, or the AFK podcast. I am your host, Afro Black, coming at y'all with the last episode of 2022 with
Ever.
Oh.
That's it. What?
With my host, Markov.
How we end it.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you guys we're quitting. Goodbye.
Yeah.
The end stream button isn't working. This is kind of awkward.
I'm on to better endeavors, like subtweeting Andrew Tate on every tweet he posts.
Gotta gain that clout somehow,
I don't
dude.
know why I say that like it's already something I've established as a person, but I don't think I even follow him. Not that it matters now, but
Right. Again, I seen
anyway.
the stupid shit that he got arrested. Apparently, he got not arrested for the shit that everyone originally thought he did, but for money laundering. So it's not too far off from what everyone thought.
I mean, that's fine. Like, it doesn't make a difference to me what he got arrested for, I guess. You're just not gonna beat how. Like, that's where the comedy comes from.
Fair. That
He
is
told
quite
a
fair.
fucking 19-year-old girl that his dick was bigger than hers, and then he doxed himself by ordering Domino's.
Goddamn.
It wasn't Domino's, but like
these cops out here are getting creative, dog.
yeah.
I'm telling you.
Anyway, this is a good start to our video game podcast.
It's great. It's great. I love it. Let's just keep this shit going. We don't really have any articles for y'all tonight. What we're actually gonna be doing is basically just gonna be doing like a reflection stream. Basically gonna be talking about the top games for us that we played this year. Not necessarily games that came out this year, but just games that we played this year. Anticipated games for next year. Where we want to take the podcast / our Twitch channels, what we want to do with it, and yeah. So, I think we'll go ahead and start with top games. So, the games that I ended up actually beating this year, or not even beating, but actually playing enough to get a solid opinion of, were in no particular order. Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. That game was extremely fun to play, especially as a fighting game. Visuals look absolutely great, especially for an anime game. Even added a few extra spicy scenes that weren't originally in the manga or in the show, which was pretty cool. Just kind of like expanded on the fighting scenes and shit. Made it pop. It was pretty cool. Let's see here. Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt. The only BR in recent memory that has actually made me want to play more than one match. The game obviously is still a battle royale. It's quite simplistic in that nature, but the abilities were interesting enough to keep me playing. Made it possible for some very spicy plays. It was pretty cool. And also like the abilities that you could gain from being a vampire and sucking blood and shit. It was pretty cool. Finally beat Nier Automata. For people that have been following the channel for a while, they know that I actually started this game years ago and finally beat it this year on stream. I don't remember what player ending I got. I think I got E. So it was pretty cool. I am not gonna be that person that goes through and gets all 24 endings. That is not happening. But
26.
sorry, 26 endings. But nonetheless, I still love the game. Combat is fantastic. Visuals were good. Story was interesting enough to where I wish that they had actually expanded on it a little bit. Or actually, that kind of defeats the whole purpose. Never mind. Ignore that thought. It was the way that they told the story. It was kind of like the closest thing I can describe it to is like more like a Souls-like game, where they don't really throw it in your face. Kind of, it's not that kind of storyline. It's more just like they give you some of it, and then the rest of it you have to listen very carefully to dialogue or find diaries and shit like that to piece the rest of it together to try and get the whole scoop of the story, the whole universe and shit like that. This is pretty cool. Another big one for me was No Man's Sky. I think Carter over here can attest that that game has probably the biggest comeback story within the last decade. No shit, no joke.
Yeah, I would say more and more so with every update. Not that it was at a bad start before this year by any means, but I I would say it tends to prove its worth and earn its spot on people's top game shelves the more and more shit they put out for it,
Hmm.
especially with the quality of the stuff that came out this year.
And the fact that
And
all the DLC is free.
yeah, totally free. And I don't have it on the Switch, so I can't attest to this firsthand, but for what that game is, it's got a surprisingly solid Switch port from what I hear. So the fact that they're able to make something like that as accessible without losing sight of what makes it enjoyable in its current state is also very cool to see.
Very much so. I do want to start actually playing the game a lot more, especially on stream, but I'm pretty bad about sticking with games. This is kind of hard.
Yeah, well, that and then like with shit as open ended as that, like, what do you do? You know, like it's fun to sit there and like just go from planet to planet for me.
Mhm.
That's what I get out of it is the exploration. But
Mhm.
like, I don't know, remembering because I did stream it a little bit this year, but
Uh-huh.
like remembering that what I enjoy, my little fun, dumb, autistic, fucking ADHD rattled brain may not necessarily jive with other people.
True. Fair enough.
I'm very casual with that game.
I don't
And
think
then
I
you've
know a
got like
lot of people that would
entire
actually take that game super seriously, in all honesty.
well, you say that, but there's like entire fucking squads of people that go through and just like do pirate shit.
Okay. All right. I see I
Like
see what you're saying.
like there's so much to do in that game. Like the world's your fucking oyster.
It it's it's very much it's kind of like a more optimized version of Star Citizen to me, where it's just like you can do pretty much whatever you want. It's just Star Citizen's a lot more open ended, but at the same time, that game has been getting built from the ground up to be like that. Whereas No Man's Sky had to basically do a fight or flight kind of thing. It was just like we need to desperately fix this as fast as possible, otherwise we're going to crash and burn.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Never
I
let myself get into Star Citizen.
right now you're not missing too much. I bought the game
Never
just
seemed like it.
because the game is actually pretty cool looking. The game is absolutely fucking gorgeous. Um, it's really interesting to actually explore, and from what I've been told, with every patch they actually do just enough to keep people coming back. Um, the shit, like the whole mechanics of the game are extremely realistic to the point where you can control down to like individual switches on your ship.
Jesus.
Um, like it's extremely immersive. I actually follow one guy or one, I think they're called the Marauders on YouTube, and every now and again they'll post a video of them pirating, and they just straight up like you literally have to break open doors and bust through them with lasers and shit to actually get onto the ships and actually kick them out of their seats and shit like that. It's pretty cool looking. Um, but the game is definitely not for the faint of heart, because if you don't know what you're doing or you aren't watching videos and shit, you're pretty much going to be lost. It's even more hands off than No Man's Sky, if that's even possible, where they just plop you in and say, "Hey, have fun." There are no tutorial markers. There are no tutorials. Period. There are no beginner markers to tell you where to go. There is a text chat in YouTube. That is how you figure out how to play the game.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. So, but other than that, it's a solid game. No Man's Sky, I would say, is a more reasonable version, unless you really do like those immersive like survival games, to where they don't hide or like hold your hand. But No Man's Sky still beats it in terms of content. The game has so much content at this point, and I understand there's randomly generated planets and universes and shit like that, but it's just like there's that, and then there's no Star Citizen, where it's just one solar system. So, moving on to my next game, which would be Dying Light 2. Haven't had a
Oh
chance
yeah.
to. Yeah. That came out this year.
Yeah, it did.
Um, I haven't beaten the game yet. I know. You guys can flame me in the chat slash the comments or whatever, but that
Sure.
has not happened yet. Um, but the game is for sure fun as shit. Um, I always liked the first Dying Light game. I actually think I beat it once for sure, possibly twice on stream. The first game, anyways, and I think I beat
I think I
the
played part
DLC.
of that with you one time.
I wouldn't be surprised. I think I downloaded it again because you had recently bought it or something.
Yeah.
Dying Light 2 just kind of like improves upon that. The story is still kind of weak, but the engine has obviously improved. Game looks gorgeous. Still terrifying as shit, especially at night, like how they wanted it to be. Um, the combat is still really fun. Just keep in mind that the game is more melee oriented versus like ranged weapons oriented. So like I think the bows feel pretty okay, but um the guns and shit, they still feel like a little bit clunky like in the first game. I don't pay any attention to it because I play the games and like almost exclusively in like using melee weapons, except for maybe the bow, just because I like using bow and arrows. Um, but I do plan on beating that game eventually. But for now, it is definitely in my top games. I think I had fun. I just kind of got busy, and then I forgot it existed, and then by then I had lost all motivation to play it again.
Ooh.
Um, but yeah, if you guys haven't already picked that up, I would say it's a pretty solid pickup for, especially on a discounted price. I think right now it's actually on sale.
I'm gonna say I've seen it get marked down pretty regularly the last 6 months or so.
Dying Light 2, yeah. So right now the second game is $30. The Dying Light Enhanced Edition, so the first game is $9 right now. So it's not bad at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah,
oh my
no,
God.
and like those are such a good like investment as far as like fucking games that get supported.
Yeah.
Like I got a thing on my Steam Deck the other day. They're still doing events in Dying Light 1.
Are
Like
they
they're still
really?
updating that shit with content. Yeah, like nothing massive or anything because like two's out, but they had like some kind of seasonal challenge event going on, and I think they have like seasonal like cosmetic DLC that they'll bring in if you didn't get it the year before and shit. But yeah,
Holy
no,
shit.
Techland cares about the games that they put out. I was not salty at all when it took them as long as it did to get the two out
Mm.
because the quality of it shows. I played a little bit of it. I also didn't get a chance to finish that, but yeah, no, it was in a world that is oversaturated with zombie survival games. That's those two are definitely two that stand out.
Mm-hmm. For sure. They actually added something interesting to the generic formula, at least enough to actually like, people say, or enough for people to say, this is interesting enough to actually get into versus let me just pick it up for like a day and then get bored and then never touch it again.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Next on my list for this year was Digimon Survive. Definitely a sleeper hit for this year. The game does fantastic. It's basically just a visual novel with some tactical RPG elements for like key fights and shit like that. It's definitely something where you can just sit back, relax, and just enjoy the story because it's actually interesting enough. Um, the characters, from what I can tell, they're more of like the generic archetypes, the goody two shoe female main character, the more reckless slash brash main character, that this that and the fourth. It's kind of predictable with their character like personalities, but I would say that it's a more interesting aspect of Digimon where it's just like instead of you getting or them getting thrown into our world or whatever, a bunch of kids basically get teleported over into the digital world, and this isn't like a PG version really. I would argue it's more of like a young adult version, just because of the horror elements. They actually nailed that mainly because of the fucking soundtrack. In all honesty, um,
Nice.
yeah, it's definitely a game worth picking up, especially if it's on sale. Um, the tactical RPG elements, they have a few interesting mechanics, but I mainly play it just because of the story, and obviously I have a lot of nostalgia catered towards a lot of the mons that are used in the story. Um, so yeah, I would, and also it's on pretty much. I'm pretty sure it's on every single console right now. So I think it's
Yeah, I
even
got a
on.
pretty. I think it was like a simultaneous release.
Yeah. I have heard though that if you do want to get it on like Switch or something, those copies are really hard to come by because they didn't do a lot of physical copies. Um, so if you want a guaranteed one, just buy it on an online shop and download it to your system for whatever or on whatever it is. But me personally, when it comes to Switch games, I like physical copies, so I'll probably pick it up again, Switch. Um, Next on my list, that's probably way closer to the top of most fun I've had this year in terms of single player games. Definitely DMC5. The game was worth every single penny. I only played it on normal, and it still felt like a fucking blast. I actually do want to play through it again at some point soon. Obviously, soundtrack fantastic, combat fucking out of this world. They challenge you with different types of playstyles with the different characters that you play throughout the story. The DLC is plentiful, so like you could say that they're like microtransactioning the shit out of the game, but it's also not super expensive. Like bought, I think my edition came with the Virgil add-on that lets you play as Virgil, but I think alone it's like $5. I think. They
Yeah,
also
somewhere in
sell
there.
like a shit ton of cheap costumes and extra soundtracks and stuff like that. Um, Story was pretty okay. I wasn't expecting a over the top story, just something basic enough to where I can say, okay, that's all right. It's not terrible, but they uh they clearly didn't spend like years trying to formulate the story, but they spent more than 5 seconds, so this is pretty good. Let's see what else can I say about it. The combo system is fun as shit to play with. Um, They go so far as to giving you like a training room that you can use like just before you start up your save or in between missions when you're playing through your save to practice your combos, figure out what weapons work best for you and shit like that, which there are plenty of. Um, Weapon variety is fantastic. Differentiates the playstyle enough to where it's just like you actually feel like using a different weapon. It doesn't seem like basically the same weapon but with a different skin on it. You can tell that the game had a lot of love and care. But yeah, did you play through DMC5, Carter?
Yeah,
Did you?
that
Did you
was
like
like
it?
my inaugural. Yeah, it was great. That was like my inaugural game that I bought after I got my Steam Deck. That
Oh,
was like my first. I'm gonna fucking benchmark test this thing game. Because like
goddamn.
the week I got it, it went on sale. It was on a flash sale for like $9.
Yeah, I think you're the one that told me about it, and that's when I picked it up too.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. The DMC5's great.
yes. Um, second to last one would probably be Total War Warhammer 3. My first Total War game that I've ever played. And it's actually pretty fun overall. Um, the story is pretty okay enough to make me want to like rerun through it again. Or actually, no, I think I'm still on my final mission now that I think about it. Holy shit, I am. Um, the game is set in the Warhammer Fantasy universe. Um, the story, in short synopsis, is demon trying to betray other big demons and become a fellow big demon to try and kill the other big demons. Um, Kills a god in the process, a bear god, in fact. Um, and you basically try and get to that power source before him. That's basically the storyline. Combat is very interesting. For people that are not familiar with Total War, the game is not an RTS. It's not totally RTS. It's a mix between turn-based, kind of like Civ, and an RTS game, kind of like Halo Wars. Um, the units are interesting to play with. You can make some very funny and very memey builds to basically one-shot the AI and shit. It's pretty funny. Um, the game looks gorgeous. However, I will go ahead and warn people against this. Do not go in there thinking that you're going to be able to run this shit at nearly like the settings that you normally do in any other game because this shit runs like ass. I have a probably like closer to high-end PC and I was getting without even running OBS or anything else, just Discord and Spotify, I was getting maybe 45 to 50 frames. This game
Shit.
is not optimized. I'm letting you know now. Um, so just take that with a grain of salt. However, I will say to give it the benefit of the doubt, I haven't played it in a couple months, but the last time I played it, they hadn't really made any optimization patches. Just letting you know. But for people that love strategy games, this is right up your alley. Um, and honestly, I would still recommend it. At least picking it up when it's on sale, and then if it doesn't run well for you still, just give it some time. I'm sure they'll patch it eventually. But the last time I played it, it was not there yet. And then my most looked forward to slash like biggest bang for my buck game for this year was obviously probably like everyone else, Elden Ring. I'm not even going to waste time trying to explain why, because I'm sure that most of y'all have already heard the endless praises that the game has and small shortcomings it has. The game is great to play. I still need to beat it, but that does not mean that it is a trash game. It just means that I have a poor attention span.
True. Felt that.
Yeah, so that's my games for this year. What about you, Carter?
Yeah, fuck. I'm looking at my list here, and it reminded me how fucking long this year was. That I forgot that some of these came out this year. Um, Kind of just going in order of the calendar, I guess. Uh, Pokemon Legends Arceus was the first
Oh
one that
fuck,
like
I forgot about that. Add that onto
right,
my list.
right. Yeah, no, that fucking what a strong start to the year that was.
Fuck yes, it
Like
was.
complete revitalization, new breath of life into what people thought was a sinking ship, dying franchise in terms of gameplay. No, fucking Legends Arceus was some of the most fun I have had with a Pokemon game since, like, I don't know, Pokemon Emerald, which was like the first one I beat to completion as a kid.
Goddamn. Okay.
Just the exploration, the fucking, like, I don't know, like Ghibli-esque, just really chill, cozy, almost Breath of the Wild vibes that game has, while also injecting a lot of elements from like Monster Hunter and like I don't know, like just the amount of stuff that it's able to do, and just the way that it's able to shake up the formula the way it did so fundamentally, while also keeping its identity as a Pokemon game, was so cool. They took such a risk with that, and it paid off so well that
Fuck yes, it did.
a lot of that bled into Scarlet and Violet,
Mm-hmm.
which I started playing through this week. I bought that for myself for Christmas, so I've been having a lot more fun with that than I thought I would, and I'd have no reason to doubt that RCS was a big reason for that, because they have brought so much shit from that over into this game.
Mm-hmm.
The free roaming Pokemon, the giant open-ended exploration areas, just the way that it's, I don't know, it was definitely a step in the right direction. And for as many complaints as I have on the technical side of Scarlet and Violet, you can tell that RCS was a big push for them in terms of game design. And I'm hoping it's one that they're going to stick to the way that they appear to be currently. Another one I was able to really start sinking my teeth into this year was Deep Rock Galactic.
Okay.
It had been on PC. I picked it up when it first came out in like early access a few years ago. Never really got the full experience out of it, since it's a game like Left 4 Dead, where if you don't have people to play it with, you're not going to have a good time. It's built around 4-player co-op. When it came out on PS4 and PS5, it actually came out as a PlayStation Plus release. So it was one of the free games of the month. I was able to convince a couple of my buddies to play it, and I think within the first 2 weeks, we probably had over 40 hours worth of expeditions done.
Jesus. All right.
It is so good. It takes the best. It's like a class-based game. So you've got like an engineer, assault, driller, because it's a mining game. So you've got a guy that like exceeds in mining. And then you've just got like a fucking, let me see, what am I skipping? Gunner. Oh, and then like a scout who does like zip lines and just like traversal mobility stuff. They all have like tiers upon tiers upon tiers of fucking weapon unlocks. Like, they did an update for Oktoberfest in the fall, and they ended up adding like 3 new fucking weapons for each of the main characters on top of like the 5 that they already had for their loadouts. And they're pretty unique weapons too. I mean, like the engineer, you can sit there, he's got like a fucking laser launcher, a machine gun that acts like the fucking smart pistol from Titanfall, where you pull the trigger, scan it around, and then whatever you have a lock on when you let go is what gets shot.
Okay.
Just crazy inventive weapon variety. While you're going through these mines looking for minerals, looking for like MacGuffins, basically, while you're being hunted down by swarms and swarms of alien bugs. Super fun. There's like 6 or 7 different biomes, so like it's super varied. It's all procedurally generated, so you go in, it's a new dungeon layout every single time. They do tons of seasonal events, tons of free cosmetic updates. Everything in that game, barring like 4 or 5 giant cosmetic packs is entirely purchasable with in-game currency that you earn through doing the expeditions.
That's pretty
You
good.
do not have to pay a fucking dime for the truckloads of content that they are continuing to roll out. This was such a good year for them. The developers behind it had actually done a super successful Kickstarter for a tabletop version of their game. It's
Oh
coming out
wow.
sometime. It's either next year or the year after, but yeah, no, they're popping off. This was a really good year for them. That is also on everything except for Switch, I think. I know it's a Game Pass title. It's on PlayStation. Game Pass has crossplay between Xbox and PC. So yeah, if you've got friends to play it, otherwise it's like, I think full price it's like $25 on Steam, but it's been going on sale a lot this year. They typically do one like with their season updates, with their like seasonal event holiday updates, whatever you want to call them.
Mm-hmm.
Tons of fun if you've got an afternoon to kill with some buds.
Okay.
Let's see what else we got on here. I touched on it a little bit. I also jumped into Dying Light 2. I need to go back and finish that, but it's pretty fun. It's a good first-person zombie game that makes me forget that Call of Duty's garbage now. So that's always good.
Okay.
Because I need to take my mind off of that.
I think most people do.
Let's see. Oh, fuck. Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Probably, I know I just typed up both of the Pokemon releases this year. I think Kirby and the Forgotten Land might be my favorite Switch game that came out this year.
Okay.
It is the first fully 3D Kirby game. First time they've gone full tilt with like a 3D platformer. So good. It's fucking Kirby, dude. Like, if you know, you know. If you don't, it's literally like next to Mario. I would say in some ways it's even better than Mario at being like a super accessible, super chill platformer. Tons of fun. I mean, like they've got the whole classic Kirby stuff. You suck up the enemies, you get their powers. They've also got like the mouthful mode, which is what they introduced this year or with this game, which is basically Kirby eat big object and become big object, including things like cars, light bulbs, traffic cones, staircases. It's an absolute fucking delight. One of the most like visually impressive games I've seen on the Switch as far as first party titles go too. Just a really fun time. Lots of content in there, and it's fully co-op, so couch co-op at that. So if you've got a buddy to play it with, you know, girlfriend, significant other, whatever, it's a good time. It's cute. Oh, dude, next one that I have. This is probably in my top 3 for the year. The fucking Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga finally dropped in April. I have been watching that since they announced it was coming in like 2018, 2019. I was very glad the hype ended up paying off. If you are a Star Wars fan, or if you played like the old Lego Star Wars games, or like even any of the more recent Lego games, it's a great time. I would say the more invested you are into the Star Wars universe, the more you're going to get out of it. But it's a really good time overall. You play through all 9 of the movies. It's like fully voice acted. It's just really, they don't take it too seriously. It's just like dumb, kind of campy, spoofy takes on the movies. A lot of tongue-in-cheek stuff for like the actual diehard fans. And in between the levels that you're playing for the movies, you get to explore most, if not all, of the areas from each of those films as just these giant open world sandboxes that are filled with side quests and extra content to do. tons of fucking characters. They did like a series of DLC updates to add stuff from like Mandalorian, the bad ones. I don't know. I lost track of all the Star Wars shows that came out this year, but tons of like extra content, extra character DLC packs for celebration of all of those that came out throughout the year. That one I've started to see go on sale as well. It's great bang for your buck even at full price. I think that was one that I put into my console and I did not take it out until I had 80 hours in it. Like,
God damn. Okay.
It is so much fun. Like, if you're a Star Wars fan, I highly recommend that. Like, if you're looking for something to fill the void before that Jedi Fallen Order sequel comes out, pick up Lego Star Wars. What else? Cult of the Lamb was another one that I had a lot of fun with. I would almost put it at my indie game of the year. It was a very close second. I feel like a lot of people know about it by now, so I won't get too in depth at like gushing over it because people know what it is and what's there. If you don't know, you are running a compound as a cult leader trying to get enough people to believe in the demon that saved you and saved you from being sacrificed, to bring that demon to life and basically overthrow the old gods and unleash hell upon earth. You are the harbinger of that, and you are meant to build a compound full of followers, almost like an Animal Crossing type, like cozy town builder. But it's also a resource management game where you go and collect your resources through a roguelike dungeon crawling hack and slash beat 'em up aspect. So it's part Zelda, part Binding of Isaac, roguelike, Hades, whatever you want to describe it as, part Animal Crossing, and the art style really sells it too. It's a really cute, really good art style. Yeah, Devolver kind of killed it with their releases this year, but that one in particular was really, really good. I would say my favorite indie game that came out this year, though, is fucking Vampire Survivors. I don't know how else to describe it, and the way I do describe it doesn't make it sound flattering. It is just mindless, dumb, fun, brain rot, no think mode.
We always love those.
Like, literally, it's just like an auto battler. You pick a character, your character starts with a weapon, you get more weapons, you survive in the level for a half hour. It's so much fun, and it is such a fucking low risk investment. They actually ghost dropped mobile ports during the Game Awards a couple weeks ago. So it's free on phones, it's on Android and Apple. Otherwise, if you want it on Steam, base game is like $3. And the week before last, he put out like a $2 DLC that like tripled the size of the game.
Jesus Christ.
So, between me getting my Steam Deck in September and this month, I've got like over 50 hours in it already.
God damn.
Just on Steam. So it's fun. Just mindless brain rot. If you don't want to think about anything too hard, pop that on, you're good.
We always love those kinds of games. Could argue that those are some of the best games.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of what got me sucked into Binding of Isaac as hard as it did.
That and also the versatility of each playthrough, essentially.
That too, yeah. There's a lot of reasons I got sucked into Isaac.
Yeah, we just won't go into that.
Yeah, no, that'll be a 4-hour stream someday.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Oh yeah, Fire Emblem Warriors, the Three Hopes. That was another one. I had a pretty good time with it. If you liked Three Houses when it came out, it's the same concept as what Nintendo did with like I'm trying to think of the name of the game now. Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity, where they took like the Dynasty Warriors formula and made a spin-off story in like an alternate universe for the Fire Emblem Three Houses characters. So if you're looking for more time with those characters, you got through Three Houses, you played all the routes, did all the DLC, and it's still not enough. Three Warriors is a pretty fun self-contained adventure, or Three Hopes rather, excuse me. But yeah, I don't have a ton to say about that. It plays like a Dynasty Warriors game, so mindless hack and slash, kill 10,000 enemies in 5 minutes. It's fun. Oh, dude, the fucking Klonoa. I forgot that came out this year. Oh my god. The Klonoa remakes, Klonoa 1 and Klonoa 2.
No.
Some of my favorite fucking... Oh my god, dude, I like squealed about it when they announced it in the Direct this year. Two of my favorite platformers of all time. Klonoa 2 is one of my favorite PS2 games of all time. Fantastic, delightful, charming side-scroller puzzle platformers from Namco. Totally got like... I don't know, like when they came out the first time, like on their original platforms, it was my go-to definition for it is the best game you're not playing. They reviewed phenomenally. There was not a single person in the world that didn't love the games, but they sold like fucking shit. So they stopped making them. And then I don't know if it was like an anniversary thing or just fan outcry, or if Namco was just like, fuck it, what's the worst that could happen? They decided to remake 1 and 2. And from what I understand, they did pretty well. So
all right, we love the success.
They're pretty solid remakes, and I'm hoping that lays the groundwork for them to make more. Kind of like what they did with Crash Bandicoot. So we'll see. It's just a really fun, really cute puzzle platformer.
All right.
What else? I have fallen off of it in recent months, but I will at least highlight the impact and the fucking chokehold that Multiverse has had on me between July and August of this year.
All right.
For a free-to-play game that is hell-bent on marketing towards, hey, look at nostalgia, remember this, remember that. It is a stunningly competent fucking platform fighter. Almost like a Smash Bros. Clone, if you want to go there with it. If you're looking for a free-to-play game that's not Fortnite, this would probably be the next one I have in line to recommend. It's got all your favorite characters. It's got Batman, Harley Quinn, Finn and Jake, Tom and Jerry, Rick and Morty, fucking Gizmo from the Gremlins, all your favorite Warner Brother, Hanna-Barbera people. It's a great time. I have not kept up. I could not tell you who's in the fucking game at this point.
Yeah, you guys haven't touched that in a while, have you?
No, but they had the balls to sit there and go, let's put Iron Giant in the game and then not fuck with his scale at all. So I respect them for that. Let's see. I think I'm coming up on the end here as far as like new stuff goes. I need to get back into it so bad. I have not had time to stream this month. God of War Ragnarok is fantastic from what I've played so far. I had a great time being able to go back and play God of War 2018 in anticipation for that. That was like a super fun stream series that I did. I had a lot of fun going through and playing that with chat. I still need to go back and finish the Valkyries, which was not fun for me, but you guys liked it, so fuck me, right? I've also had a lot of fun dipping a bit more into the mobile side. Marvel Snap is a fantastic free-to-play fighting, or not fighting game, card game. If you're looking for just like bite-sized 5-7 minute 1v1 card game, it's like a more balanced and more optimized Hearthstone, and it's also got Spider-Man instead of whatever the fuck Hearthstone has. So
Who gives a shit? Because it's not Marvel.
I mean, it is Marvel, but
No, I'm talking about Hearthstone. Fuck Hearthstone. All my homies hate Hearthstone.
True. Shit. Yeah. No, that's really as much as I gotta gush about. Other than that, I would say like this last year especially, I got sucked back into Fortnite pretty hard. The amount of shit that they've done and just kind of like the current state of the game the last few seasons has been really solid. They just kind of keep adding and streamlining stuff, and they're really good about like taking feedback from the community and like taking the stuff that works and keeping it, and then just kind of like applying it to whatever the next big thing is. Like it's such a fucking smooth like gameplay experience. I totally get why kids are all over that the way they are. And then I'll be the first to fucking admit it too. Like the skins are cool as fuck. I have put a probably shameful amount of money into some of the costumes they've put out this year. I mean, for fuck's sake, right now in this season, I think they just wrapped up like a My Hero Academia event. Fucking Doomslayer from the new Doom games is in the Battle Pass, and they've got some kind of Witcher event coming next month where you can unlock Geralt.
Jesus.
Like,
They just all over the place.
They're doing whatever they want, and I still keep fucking playing it, so I'm part of the problem.
They're doing something right.
Yup.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm really trying. I don't know that I think I've covered everything I've played this year. So
Honestly, I haven't played a lot of games outside of outside of like streaming games.
yeah. I mean, it wasn't like a crazy fucking like blockbuster year. Like we started and ended really strong with shit like Elden Ring and Ragnarok, but I don't know, it was pretty quiet, which I am okay with because Jesus fucking Christ is this year stacked. 2023 is gonna be so goddamn busy.
It's gonna be a good year.
I am so excited. My wallet's not, but I am.
That's basically how I've felt ever since I started collecting cards again.
True.
My nostalgia loves it. My wallet does not. I ignore my wallet.
Dumb little serotonin brain. How's that make you feel?
Damn straight. All right. Well, if that's all the games that you felt like mentioning, I guess we'll move on to what game. What's your top 5 for what you're looking forward to next year, Carter?
I'm bad at ordering lists, so I'm just.
You listen. You just got to list 5.
Yeah, no, the 5 games that make my nipples go boyoyoing as soon as I think about them. I'm really excited, and I've been kind of vocal about it the last couple of shows, I think, but I'm so fucking ready for that Resident Evil 4 remake, guys. God damn it, I try not to get too excited about shit like this, but like it's fucking Resi 4. And the shit that they have shown off it looks great. It looks like they are absolutely going to keep in spirit with the original release. It's like not too spooky, but it also doesn't take itself super seriously. Just like a really good middle ground of like, I don't want to say dumb, but like, I don't know, like campy horror stuff. Because there are parts of that game that are freaky as shit, but it's also really hard to take the entire experience seriously. But yeah, no, with the way that like the other Resident Evil remakes have been, I am hoping and expecting that this has that same par of quality. It's going to be in the same engine as everything they've done recently has, so it looks fucking gorgeous. So yeah, that's going to be like, and that comes out in like February, so it's definitely going to be like one of the earlier ones for me next year.
Okay.
Next up, I would have to say Spider-Man 2, the sequel for the Insomniac Spider-Man game from 2018. They've got my boy Venom in the main trailer, so that's all I
Instant cop.
need. Pretty much. Um, I'm really excited to see what they do. There's been a lot of like rumor mill stuff that suggest at there maybe being like some kind of co-op mode. Because I'll spoil a little bit of the last game if you don't know about it already. I feel like you would if you follow them at all. But there are two spider people in the Insomniac universe right now. There is a Peter Parker and a Miles Morales.
Oh.
So there's been a lot of rumors that they are gonna do some kind of co-op maybe with both of them. They haven't really confirmed or denied anything. Really, we didn't even know that it was still coming out next year until a couple weeks ago when they dropped all of the shit for the Spider-Verse sequel, and they were just like, oh yeah, we're still working on this. It's still coming out next year.
Gotta love it.
But yeah, I've been stoked for that since they unveiled it at like the PS5 showcase 3 years ago. So that's gonna be rad.
Gonna be litty titty.
True. Next, let me see. What do we have confirmed coming out next year? Oh, fuck. Jesus. Atomic Heart. Yeah, that's also super soon. I've gushed about that plenty of times on here, so I won't go too in depth. Basically, Bioshock style gameplay in a twisted version of fucking Soviet Russia. Kind of like a Wolfenstein if it was Russia instead of Germany, as far as like the aesthetic goes. You're going around killing crazy fucking Spetsnaz Soviet robots. You've got crazy guns. You've got crazy little, hey, I'm gonna shoot this element out of my left hand, like I said, like in Bioshock. Visuals look great. Everything they've shown off so far looks great. They've been working on this for like 5 or 6 years as well, so it's another like indie passion project. Soundtrack is done by the fucking ever phenomenal Mick Gordon, who scored the Doom games, worked with Bethesda for a long time. So if you're a fan of any of those recent releases in the soundtrack department, it's going to be one to look forward to. I don't know, Doom especially. The running joke is, wow, I can't believe they wrote this metal album and made a game to go with it. So it's the music they've shown off is definitely that same energy.
Ooh, we love that. And they won't. Hopefully, they won't fuck over their composer in the process.
True that, homie.
Ha ha
ha. Oh, it hurts.
It really does.
Let's see. So what is that? 3?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. The longer I look at this list, the more I realize there is a ton of shit coming out next year. Next up, Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Another one I won't dwell too much on. Everyone knows what Breath of the Wild is. Everyone knows how great Breath of the Wild is. Tears of the Kingdom, it's a sequel to that. It's pretty safe to assume after how well Breath of the Wild did, it's probably going to play pretty similarly as far as the exploration and the open world shit. If not, it's at least in the same universe and a direct continuation of the story, which I was also super interested in. But if nothing else, it's a fucking mainline Zelda game. So, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
And then lastly, let me see. I would probably say, and I feel weird about saying it because I'm not a big Harry Potter fan. I am very interested to see how Hogwarts Legacy does. I find like the whole. I don't like the Harry Potter story. I don't like the books or the movies. But my problems with it are way more about the characters than the world. I think the fucking world that they made for those books is fascinating and super intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that we are getting a game that's focused on that as opposed to, hey, look, it's Harry Potter. Remember Thing from movie? And just getting what seems like a super organic, like day in the life of type look at that universe is something I'm pretty interested to see how they pull off.
Okay.
There's not a lot of, I don't know, there's not a lot of like third person RPGs like that are focused on magic combat. A lot of it's just give me sword, give me gun.
Mm-hmm.
And having that combined with like a almost bully style like school gameplay aspect to it. Like if they can do it well enough, I think it's going to exceed whatever kind of controversy or reservations people have about buying it. Because I know it's
the
kind of a
creator of
hot
said
topic
universe.
Right. And I don't doubt that that's going to affect it, but I don't know. I think it's going to be one of those things where people still fucking buy it anyway. Kind of like
probably.
how everyone knew R. Kelly was a really weird sex pervert for 30 years, but they still bought his shit up until like he went to prison for it.
And I think they still are.
Probably.
And then everyone, whenever someone confronts them, they're just like, "But his music's so good."
Yeah, it's most likely gonna end up like one of those.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm not part of the problem, but I don't know. Being a music nerd, I've ran into that situation enough times that it doesn't really faze me. The amount of fucking canceled artists that I have had to deal with in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And then like the amount of pictures I've had to contemplate deleting because I've met said artists.
Oh, that's awkward.
And then it's just like, hey, this person got caught talking to a 12-year-old and they're 33. Oh. We was really nice at the fucking venue.
Oh boy. I don't know. I also am one of those people that has reservations just based off of J.K. Rowling's reputation, especially more recently, because I think she said some more outlandish shit.
She did, and that's not me like trying to detract from what she said or
Oh
what
no,
she's
no,
doing by
that's not what
saying
I'm
any of that.
insinuated at all.
Like, she is a fucking horrible person, and no amount of New York Times bestsellers is going to change that for me.
No.
But at the same time, if a game is fun, a game is fun.
But yeah. I really don't know how to feel like all like outside of the whole controversy surrounding like the author of the original series or whatever. It's just more like Harry Potter's never really like fascinated me to that degree. Usually it's more like if it's gonna be fantasy, it has to be. I need to be able to like be able to say confidently like this doesn't remind me of my reality whatsoever. Like if I want it to be fantasy, I want it to be completely fantasy and blow it out of the water in terms of my expectations. That's like the closest way I can really describe it. Um, but when it comes to sci-fi and shit, I'm perfectly fine with it just being futuristic humanity and X like era of stupid shit or whatever. But when it comes to fantasy, I want it to be like I can't really like see anything somewhat related to humans. Like there's some reference or there's some humans, quote unquote, but it doesn't remind me of Earth whatsoever. Um, but
Yeah, I get that. Of course, I always thought that like part of the appeal for Harry Potter is that it was like so seamlessly integrated into the real world.
I'll give you that. Yeah. Um,
But yeah, I totally get that. Like, I have plenty of reasons why I never gotten into the movies or the books.
yeah. I don't know. I also just didn't really find the like the act. Some of the actors were charming to watch and shit, and they were pretty good in the role. But overall, it was more just like I just never got into them. I don't know if it was the script or maybe like the movies just didn't do the world justice enough for me to care for it, or whatever the case may be. It just didn't do anything for me. Just was not that
Yeah,
serious for me.
that's fair.
And also, whenever I play games uh when there are mages or in the game, I just tend to stick to rogues.
Yeah, I don't know. For as many times as I've said I'm gonna do a mage build in like Skyrim, that same run has just turned into me fucking sniping people with a bow and arrow. So
True. Um, but here, let me go through this list. For me,
yeah, what
let's
are
see
your
here.
top five?
What are my top five? I would say number one, what I'm looking forward to would probably be Starfield. For reasons that we just went over, I'm a big fan of sci-fi. I love space. I love everything surrounding space for the most part, including like the terrifying parts. We just won't get into black holes. Um, my only scare is I just don't want it to be another disappointment like Fallout 76. Bethesda
Yeah,
does not have the best reputation in the last few years, whether it comes to them, paying people that are rightfully owed money, hint, hint, or just the game overall just being shit, like said Fallout 76. Um,
which fun little plug. That is one of the free games on PS Plus next month.
but yeah, no. I'm definitely at least going to pay attention to when the game comes out and pay attention to like gameplay reviews and shit like that before I buy it. But nonetheless, I'm looking forward to it. Next one
I
on
feel
my
like that's kind
list.
of gonna be.
What?
Sorry, I was just gonna say. I feel like that's kind of gonna be a make or break for that studio, like as a whole.
Yeah, they don't really have a lot of legs to stand on right now. I'm gonna be honest.
No, I feel like they've done a little too much. Like we're gonna rest on our laurels and do more of this because it worked for us in 2003, and people are kind of sick of that. So
Yeah. It's just like it's. I would say it's to a lesser degree than CD Projekt Red, but I would only say that Bethesda has consistently put out games that really only people like like on a niche borderline played religiously. Um, whereas CD Projekt Red, they went from like a tier, like lower B tier studio to AAA with literally one fucking game, and then almost completely blew it with their next game. So I would
yeah,
say their situation is a little bit different compared to CD PR,
but the
but
anime.
you know, um, yeah.
Oh,
Um,
I didn't watch it, so I don't care.
the are we talking? Oh, Cyber. Okay, yeah. No,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
anime for
no, the
Cyberpunk was
Fallout
fucking
anime.
awesome. I will say that much, but it doesn't excuse their
It's so good.
shitty game.
They scrapped their original fucking gameplay, and now they're just gonna make DLC based on that, so people buy it.
I'm hoping the Phantom Liberty is good. For the love of God,
Well, it kind of has to be.
it's
Not that that'll affect
it's
anything, but
It'll probably affect at least a little bit. In all honesty, I can see a lot of people just saying, giving them the finger and calling it a day. If Phantom Liberty doesn't work too well. Let's see here. Next one on my list that actually looked interesting that I recently looked at was Forspoken. I did say
Oh
that
yeah,
I'm not really much into mage games, but this game looks really fucking interesting, mainly because of the parkour elements.
yeah. I've heard a lot of people that have gotten like reviews or been able to play it for extended periods of time ahead of release. A lot of people have like compared it to Infamous as far as like gameplay goes,
Oh, really?
which is like super fucking rad for me. I fucking love those games.
Okay. Um, let's see here. Next, like I've only seen a little bit of what you call it of gameplay, but from what I've seen, it looked interesting. I like because there's one game that I played on Xbox, and I think it was free for the month, but it was some sort of mage game where you could basically custom make or make unique spells by just combining them together in each of your hands. It reminds me a lot of that. And also the game just in general looks fucking gorgeous, and it looks like an interesting world to dive into. I just hope it isn't like okay mechanics in combat and then below average fucking story. For the love of God, make the story interesting,
Stinky doo doo garbage feces.
basically. Next game on my list is probably gonna be Final Fantasy 16. I remember seeing I think they released a little bit of gameplay last year,
Yeah.
during E3, and it looked actually really fucking interesting. And I think that they're keeping the same combat system as they've been integrating since like Final Fantasy 15. Um, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. I think 3 games. Let's see. Redfall is another game. Don't mind
Oh,
vampires
true.
at all. In fact, I think that like there need to be more games surrounding them because it can be a very interesting like subject to try and dive into. Um, let's see here, and also it's
Plus, it's
Left 4
like
Dead
another
style.
game that's. I was gonna say, yeah, it's another game jumping on the whole fucking 4-player co-op thing.
Yeah, back for
Which,
honestly, I'm hoping that this is the game where people just say, "Hey, this should have been Back for Blood." Um,
yeah, that I fucking called out of work for the Back for Blood beta, hoping it was gonna be Left 4 Dead 3.
it wasn't Left 4
It
Dead 3.
was not, and then I still bought it, and I was like, maybe it'll change. Hey, guess what? People don't change. Ever.
Ever. Um, let's see here. There's one other game on here that I was looking forward to. Maybe I'm lying to myself. I don't see it on. Maybe it's not coming out next year then.
Was it?
The game based on Wukong. Have you seen anything about that?
Oh no, I don't think so.
Hold on. Let me see if I can remember the fucking title. Black Myth Wukong. That's what it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that name is
Oh
familiar.
wait, no,
I
it
don't know
is.
if they've.
No, it's getting initial release date is 2023, so it is supposed to come out next year.
Okay, I didn't know if they gave it a release date, but I mean, if you're looking at it, then I suppose someone did. So
It could just be like a guesstimate too, to be honest, because I am just looking on Google results or
yeah,
the
maybe.
Wikipedia. Hopefully, if it does come out next year, then fantastic. But yeah, that would be my last one on the list, and then some honorable mentions would probably be Dead Space remake. From what I've seen, the game is
Yeah.
starting to look fan fucking tastic, and I definitely want to play through it because I've never. The only one that I played through was ironically the worst one out of all of them, which was
Mm,
3.
that's unfortunate.
Yeah. So definitely want to give that series a shot. And then the other one that I would probably say for honorable mentions is Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2. Looks I haven't seen anything on it, but the first game was awesome, so I'm sure that the second game will be pretty good. Um, But yeah, so that would be my list. A lot of solid games from what I can see just based off of this short list on Google. There's a lot of really good games coming out next year. Some sequels that people have been waiting forever for, or for games that deserve sequels that are finally getting that chance to shine. So I think next year is going to be a great year for content creation or just video games in general.
True.
Um, I guess the last thing I really wanted to delve onto is just like reflection on the year. How do you, after doing this shit for I think actually almost a year or about a year, Carter? How you feeling about the podcast?
Pretty fun. It's nice to have a creative outlet to scream about me liking video games without being asked to leave a public place, because people are trying to enjoy their food. So that's pretty cool. Uh, yeah, no, I have fun doing it. Hopefully, you guys have fun listening to it. I'm really bad at keeping track of metrics and shit, so I don't know if anyone actually. I would bet that there's a pretty large fucking dip as soon as I start going on a rant about anything. So my
I don't know,
bad,
Carter. I
but
think everyone loves your rants.
I don't know about that. But yeah, no, it's been really fun. It's kind of been a kick in the ass for me in some ways to kind of jump on the grind for streaming on my solo channel, which I've done a lot more this year than I have like any other year. Um, I mean, I made affiliate this year too, so I guess
Hell yeah.
someone's out there watching. Uh, thank you if you've been a part of that. That's been super cool. We're about to KFC double down on all of that shit this year. So
hmm
got a lot of shit lined up already. But yeah, no, it's been pretty rad.
Um, yeah, I would say pretty much the same. We started this shit on a whim earlier this year. Didn't really think it would go too far, but the more we've put work into it, the more I've personally wanted to stick with it, to see where it can go ultimately. Um, I think it's been an interesting set of skills that I've learned. I think I've become a little bit more organized. I do want to start learning how to video edit it and shit. Um, that's definitely one of the things I want to improve on next year. Also, with that, creating more variety content on other fucking outlets like TikTok and Hover and shit. That way we can actually spread the word better.
Need to
Um,
get better at TikTok.
yeah. I only have one thing on my TikTok, and that was from fucking months ago. I think it was a Siege clip that I was laughing my ass off. And let's see. I upload. When did I? I don't care. Fuck off. Um. Oh wait, no. Sorry, I have two clips on here, but the most recent one was posted when. It doesn't tell me. All right, cool, awesome. But no, I
Somewhere
think
out there.
yeah, it's somewhere out there. I think Hubbard will tell me actually, because it's an actually cool fucking app. I think I posted it like fucking 4 months ago, something like that. So it's been a while since I've uploaded on it. Um,
Yeah.
but more consistent uploads because obviously when you cross post between platforms, it helps your shit grow more
Yeah.
consistently. As for other improvements, I just want to keep growing the community. I think that we need to start figuring out more ways to get more people to join the Discord. That's like
Yeah.
one of the biggest ways that you can help not only help a community grow but become more tight knit, by just generally chatting with us and shit. We want people that actually enjoy the stream to be able to give their input on what we talk about. Not only that, but games you guys can recommend. It doesn't matter if they're indie or AAA, especially to Carter. He loves indie devs. He loves supporting them.
True.
So it's just like,
True. Dude,
oh,
I just remembered my fucking Isaac tabletop game finally ships next month. Oh my god. No, you know what? Fuck. What's one game I want to take out of my list? Fuck Resident Evil 4. Um, the Binding of Isaac tabletop game is one of my most anticipated games for next year.
Love it. But yeah, there's a lot of things that we need to improve on, things that I personally want to do to grow the channel. I'm sure Carter agrees with me with pretty much everything that I've said. At this
Yeah,
point,
I need to get
I
back on my
honestly,
OnlyFans.
yeah, come on, man, you need
Yeah.
to be spreading the word in your
Oh,
butt
I'll spread
cheeks.
something. Yeah. Hey.
Hey. um,
I don't know if I like that we were in sync on that one. Most of the time it's funny, but that one I don't.
I need to get in on the cringe. All right. I
I think
just
we need
told
to
you we
talk
need to
about
start
this
making
after.
more clips. Damn it.
It's true.
Just helping. All right.
Be a content farm for me, damn it.
Yeah. But yeah, no. Those are some of the smaller goals that I have. Obviously, I usually don't make too many like goals when it comes to numbers cuz one, if you don't hit those numbers, is very demotivating, and on top of that, you can't really control it because at the end of the day, it depends on who you actually connect with enough to actually come and watch you consistently play games on the internet. Um, but definitely want to grow both the Twitch channel, the podcast community, and the podcast channel as a whole. Speaking of the YouTube channel, obviously we want it to grow more. I honestly wasn't expecting to get any subscribers our first year or really any views, but we did. Just need to find out a way to make that consistent. Um, Definitely want to vary up the content that's actually on the YouTube channel, not just VODs. We need to start making gameplay videos. I think Carter, did I make you a editor and uploader on the fucking YouTube yet?
No.
I didn't. Oh, fuck, I must have, because I
No.
know I brought it up in the fucking group chat,
I'm sure you did.
but yeah. But yeah, no, I'm sure. I think I gave it to Phil because he said he wanted to start uploading fucking For Honor clips and stuff, and then he he just kind of like drops on and off the face of the earth. So, uh,
Yeah, that's fair. I respect that. I wish I could do that.
yeah. Um, the fuck? But yeah. This year was a great year. We definitely took a leap with this, and I hope that it keeps growing. Obviously, if you guys have any suggestions on how we can improve shit, obviously leave comments. Type in the chat if you're while you're here, and we're asking people. Join the Discord and give some pointers or some shit like that. We love hearing the feedback. I don't know what else, Carter. What do you think we could also improve on?
Fuck, man, I don't know. If we can we can figure out a way to spread the good word of the Lord, then I think that'll propel us quite a little bit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that comes from people like you. Points at camera. Thank you.
But yeah. Other than that, I don't think I really have anything else that I want to talk about tonight.
Yeah.
It's been pretty slow on news since obviously it's the end of the year. There isn't really much going on. So I think we will just go ahead and end it here. Thank you guys for the first solid year that we've had. Even though we don't really have a consistent fan base, at the end of the day, Talk Show did make it to the top 5% on Twitch. So that's definitely an achievement that I definitely was not expecting to have this year.
True that. Take that, Andrew Tate. See, I
Yeah,
brought it
fuck
full
you.
circle. Do you remember?
Jesus
Do you remember at
Christ.
the start when we talked about Andrew Tate? I brought it back.
This
It's
motherfucker.
a callback.
I need you to stop.
Callback. It's comedy
It's
102. You'll learn it first day, but you'll learn it first week. You know what I'm saying?
Well, all right. I'll give you that, I suppose. You'll have to give me some more comedy lessons, okay? Just
Subscribe
make
to
it
the
a
Discord
for more comedy.
for more comedy.
um, but yeah, this year was a great year. Hoping to keep continuing to grow, learn from our mistakes, and all that stupid shit.
Not
We
me. I
love
didn't make
y'all.
a
Thank
mistake.
you for continuing to support this stupid ass podcast. We love doing it. Um, have a great year or a great rest of your year. Let's see here. What else? What else generic can I say? Oh, happy holidays. Hope y'all had a great Christmas.
Yeah, happy Honda days, everyone. Go on
Honda
down
Day.
to your local Honda dealership and
Yeah.
get
Get a fucking
uh
Honda.
2019 Ford Mustang for 72 months, no APR financing.
I kind of want to ban you for saying that stupid shit.
See you next year, everybody.
Y'all have a great night. Have a great New Year's. Don't be too stupid. Limit the drugs and alcohol you have. Okay, bye.
If you don't, oh no.